Someone took a wild swipe at Banks. He missed. Banks hit him with a sharp jab to the ribs, and he folded like an omelet. The pair of men attempted to jump over the bar. Dennis thwacked them with the Louisville slugger he kept under the bar. Some folks made for the doors, hands over their heads to protect themselves from projectiles. Gus felt an arm wrap around his neck. He leaned back and felt his head connect with a face. When he spun around, a kid who had to be just barely of legal age to drink stared back at him with glazed eyes. He was pulled in by the swirling melee of bodies. "Coming up behind you," Banks said. "We better watch each other's backs." They did so by standing back to back, fending off all comers, and there were plenty. Gus did his best to push them away, while Banks made sure he'd have to ice his knuckles when this was over. Where the hell were the police? If this kept up much longer, the ironworks was going to be demolished.
"Look, it's the mayor!"
Sniper's throaty roar, laced with sarcasm, rode herd over the madness. He was flanked by a pair of men with bloody faces. They looked as if they had just crawled out from under a pile of thrashing bodies, which they probably had. "Trouble is headed our way," Gus barked to Banks. A beer mug flew past Gus, just missing his face. It fortunately hit the wall, and not someone else. "This should be fun," Banks said. "I owe him one." Sniper wore a leather jacket with the sleeves torn off. He locked onto Gus like a bull at a red cape. His two pilot fish charged first. They came at them like wild animals, one of them actually roaring. There was fine white powder under his nose. A stray bar stool caught the one on the left on the side of his head. That was one down. The other one didn't even see his buddy was knocked out. He charged at Gus and Banks with his right arm cocked back. "Knees," Gus said. Just before he could let his punch loose, Gus and Banks stomped his right knee with the heels of their boots. That took wind out of his sails. He lay on the ground, cradling his knee and trying to avoid getting stomped on by the brawlers around them. Sniper pointed at Gus. "I think he wants you," Banks said. "Always nice to feel wanted." Sniper was just as undisciplined as his friends. Gus bet seeing Sniper in all his scary regalia and wild eyes was enough to finish most fights before they started. What Sniper didn't know was that Banks and Gus had seen far worse in the Middle East. Sniper pulled his punch at the last second and bent low, tackling Gus to the floor. The breath exploded from Gus's lungs. He threw a series of rabbit punches at Sniper's kidneys, followed by a headbutt into his nose. Blood sprayed Gus's face. Sniper snarled, "You mother—" Banks hit him in the temple with a hard right. Sniper slid off Gus. Sniper was far from down.